We're going to be talking about what's happened over the last week. Welcome to another edition of our podcast series here on YouTube. Happy belated Victoria Day.
Thank you. Happy belated Victoria. I don't know what that means, but I'll reciprocate.
Did you have a good long weekend?
Yes, I did.
Got a good team activity and everything over the weekend.
We had a great time with the Tomachek team, the Tomachek family. We went out bowling.
You didn't do a good job.
But, no comment. No comment.
We're not gonna tell them what you did. But we're gonna be talking about what's happened over the last week or so. We had a lot of news coming in over the last week. I don't know where to start. Let's start with Canadian Tire. The Hudson Bay brands.
Made in Canada, right? So now there's a big movement that we're seeing with regards Canadians feel a sense of patriotism, and they're spending more time in Canada. They're buying made in Canada goods and products at the supermarket and whenever possible. And we're seeing that they're traveling more to Canada as opposed to traveling to the U.S. So we're seeing about a 25% decrease in traveling to our neighbors to the south. And as a result of that, we've seen WestJet that has reduced their flights to the U.S. So all this Canadiana, I can't even pronounce it, Canadian patriotism has basically impacted the world of retail. We've lost Hudson's Bay. They've pretty much defunct. They're going bankrupt, and now Canadian Tire is only buying kind of the brand, kind of the iconic stuff from Hudson's Bay. So they're not buying the retail. They're not gonna build stores. So they're gonna buy basically things that are iconically Hudson's Bay. So like the stripe, the stripe jacket,
the something north. Hudson North?
Yes, and the beaver, the brand, right? So all of that, and I think they're gonna package this and kind of spin it around and trying to sell some merchandise as a result of that. So don't think that Hudson's Bay is gonna come back, and don't think that Canadian Tire is going to invade those spaces. Yeah. They're owned by Cadillac Fairview primarily, right? And they're way too big for Canadian Tire. So all in all, good of a bad outcome, right? At least some of it stays within Canada. We still have the brand per se.
That's right. Speaking of Canadian brand, what's going on with the Leafs? We said the last time, they were going to do well, they were a clean sweep. Since we said that, they've been doing really bad.
I know, and I apologize, Leaf Nation. Yeah. Normally, I wear my Leaf jersey when I'm watching the game. Yeah. And the first two times I wore my Leaf jersey, they won.
They won.
And then, for whatever reason, I got home late. For the last three games, I haven't been wearing my jersey. So
you have something to do with it?
Hey, come on. Right? It's all about the Tomachek team, right? We have a big impact on our clients, and one of my major clients that I feel some kind of kinship with is the Leafs. So even though as we're taping this, the Friday game hasn't taken place yet, so we don't know the score. But rest assured, Leaf Nation, Pierre will be wearing his Leaf jersey tonight, and we could bet on the game.
Oh, no.
Bet on it.
Bet on it. The Leaf will prevail.
The Leafs will prevail.
Okay, speaking of prevailing, Ontario's budget. So that's the big topic we want to talk about, and probably go through those areas that you can see. Major spending in healthcare, major spending in education.
I don't know if it's major.
Well, not major.
An increase in spending in healthcare and education.
The budget was titled, helping to combat or deal with the tariffs that are there.
Yeah, so I think the name is Plan to Protect.
Yeah, Plan to Protect.
To Ontario, right? Yeah. And you're right. It was really about the tariffs. So what did you get? Any goodies for you?
No, I only got the Canadian carbon tax in my bank account.
And that's federal. That's not
federal.
that's not
Ontario.
even
So
Ontario.
I didn't see Doug Ford saying another $200 coming to me.
No.
So I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Nothing that I could directly benefit from.
Okay.
Right? Maybe healthcare eventually will trickle down to me.
Okay.
Some form. Maybe if I want to go back and do my master's or doctoral studies, maybe that will help.
Okay. Well, let me first, let me be selfish.
Okay.
You know where I live?
Yeah.
I live in Durham. So one of the good things, if you guys live in Durham, which is Pickering, Ajax, Whitby, Oshawa, Bowmanville, and all that, 115, the Highway 115 will be free of charge. No more tolls. Sorry, when I say 115, I should say the 407 to 115 will be free of charge. From Pickering all the way to the 115, which will get you to Cottage Country and Peterborough.
So maybe it's time that we move out there.
Big time. Big time. House. I mean, one of the things that we're also seeing in this economy is that housing prices and rent, as we said last week, continues to go down or basically stay flat. And one of the growing areas and the more affordable areas is definitely in the Durham region compared to out west. So no tolls from Brock in Pickering all the way to the 115. Unfortunately, that may not help all Ontarians, but it's definitely going to help this Ontarian get home
on his daily commute.
Exactly.
But that would mean, because you rely on the 407 to get home faster, now with it being that free transit, does that impact the time you take to get to point A to B, or you don't think so?
No, really, it helps me coming home. Okay. Right? It will be more affordable coming home, because going to work, I leave early enough that I don't have to take the 407. So it's just coming home. So that's very minute. Really, the big impact is for our manufacturing sector. Individuals or companies are going to be impacted by the potential tariffs. So we've seen the deficit increase by $10 billion, right? Yes. So they were projecting to almost have a balanced budget this year prior to the Trump tariffs. Now we've increased it by 10 billion, and now we're going to have a $14 billion deficit, which normally I would say it's a bad thing, but in this case, to me, it's like COVID. It's like COVID, whereby we had to take unprecedented strategies to combat this once in a generation issue, and I think the tariffs are kind of similar. So as long as it's temporary, because they're talking about that they'll balance the budget by the end of their term, so I'm okay with that.
I think you had something to do with this budget, because I see that they're taking the toll off the area where you live, and then they're also planning to maybe cut or make the gasoline tax cut permanent. That helps you as well. Is this budget for you?
I have Doug's ear, right? I have Doug's ear. So definitely the gas tax as will now be removed permanently. But it's a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword with regards to that, because one of the things about the gas, gas in Ontario, about 40 to 45% of the price of gas when you're filling up is taxes, right? So let it be HST, let it be the Ontario gas tax, which will be now eliminated, and the federal tax and the excise. There's tax on taxes, right? So, so we saw, right, that once the carbon tax was eliminated, right, we saw a decrease, excuse me, of about 20 cents, right, to gas prices. So we saw it go to 120. I know you didn't drive today. You made that long walk to Humber, but have you seen the what gas is selling right now? So it's now back to 140.
Where it was.
Right?
Probably.
So now the gas company are charging us the same price because they know it's something that we need, but we're not getting tax revenue out of it. Right.
Yeah.
So it went down by 20 cents. We got kind of accustomed to it. And then they gradually crept it back to 140. So I'm afraid that it will have some unintended consequences because at the very least, the gas tax would have gone to pay for schools,
That's right.
for healthcare, for roads, for all the infrastructure. Now we've eliminated a big chunk, and who's making the profit, unfortunately, or the gas company. So I guess on the flip side, buy the stocks from the gas company because their profit margin will be increasing.
All right. So I think, there are other aspects of the budget that we can go into, but I know that those two things, I guess, stand out for us on everyday living and looking to manage your expenses and your budgets and so forth.
Yeah.
Anything else do you think stand out? Not the fertility.
Don't look at me.
No,
those days, maybe for you. I don't want.
That was my that was my piece.
I'm not going there. I am not going there.
Yeah.
But one of the things to note is that it's a plan. Really, this budget is about a plan to protect Ontario primarily from the uncertain times that we're going to see.
Yeah.
Take away the tariffs. Take away that threat. Right. What I see is a balanced budget and maybe a potential surplus. So one of the things I'm okay with is that he's putting money aside just in case. And what do we talk about when we do a financial plan? To have an emergency fund, right? So if it doesn't materialize, right? If the threat of tariffs doesn't materialize, we don't have to use that money, right? Because it's there just in case. And then we could apply it to the budget. Another aspect that I saw, Doug Ford loves to talk about alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Remove the alcohol, put alcohol in grocery stores and so on. So one of the things that I saw is that the alcohol revenue that the province got is reducing because of the fact that now it's at grocery stores. So the grocery stores are getting a bigger chunk of the profits, but it's still substantial. It's not like we're not getting anything. It's still substantial with regards to that. So all in all, I know you've got pundits, you've got the the opposition. Opposition leaders, opposition parties, their main goal is that first word, oppose. Whatever you say, they will oppose it, right? So I don't really take my cues from them. What I take my cues is the action. So let's take a look next year and see, this is the plan. This is what most Ontarians voted for. This is the plan. Let's see if it's going to work, because they're putting a lot in terms of also infrastructure. So by building roads, building hospitals and everything, will put Ontarians to work. And if Ontarians are working, means they're paying taxes. If they're paying taxes, means that they're spending. The government has more revenues to also spend and hopefully balance the budget.
Okay, so I know we're running out of time. I just want to mention, just want to mention the federal level now.
Oh yes,
the income tax. So you might be getting a little bit more money. You're in a higher bracket. So I'll be getting a little bit more money because I'm in the lower bracket. So, that might be money into Canadian pockets.
Yeah, I forget if it's June 1st or...
there's a proposal. Yeah.
So June 1st, the lowest tax bracket in Canada, so regardless of where you live, doesn't really matter. The lowest tax bracket is going to go from 15% to 14%. Yeah. So what does that mean? That 1%? So probably in your paychecks in July and August, you'll probably see a bigger amount, but not significantly.
I think I saw $800 being quoted somewhere
for the year.
Yeah, which is still significant.
I would take $800 extra per pay if they could give that, but per year, but every little bit helps.
That's right.
Every little bit helps.
How am I going to afford to buy you coffee every time I come
Seriously.
here without that tax cut?
Seriously.
Thank you, Prime Minister Carney.
Thank you, because I need my coffee.
All right, that is it for us today. That's a recap of all that's happening in the news, some of the stories that we are tracking for you. So, and these stories we track is just to help us better handle our finances. These are the things that we think will impact your finances, and if we can tell you about it, you can make better decisions. And let us help you make those decisions by contacting the team at TFT as well. Thank you. Have a good one, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Go Leafs, go.